20 degrees of real.
Sorry.
Oh yes, I've just realised why that won't work. Alright. Twitch chat, you're coming over here.
Joy.
There we go. Oh boy, time to disappoint some people who subbed to me for OMSI. And time to disappoint some people who have come out of interest for sim racing stuff. This one, which is 1970s Formula 1 cars versus early 2000s prototypes, and what's basically a go-kart. Oh, cool.
Pero vamos a ver, chaval, tío, no sabes ni salir de box, colega.
Cool, right. Let's try about there. How's that? That's probably still too loud. There, maybe? It's just awkward because, hang on. I'm going to make things less awkward. There we go, so now I only have to balance the car sound against me. That looks about right. We'll see if that is about right. Yeah, so this is this is week 13.
You'll have to slow down and give up the time game.
Week 13 is ludicrous. Week 13 is the down week between official seasons. And in week 13, you do not gain or lose I rating or safety rating, so you can just go and do whatever. And this is (1970s) Formula 1 cars versus early 2000s prototypes versus what are effectively go-karts. Which goes about as well as you'd think. I think it's a 20-minute race. Oh god. And I'm still learning. I don't know the car or the track. So this is an old car, a very old car for iRacing, which is one that's so old that they made it free. So yeah, I'm learning the car around the track. Oh god, oh no. As you can probably tell.
Car on your left.
Oh, hello. And there's some other people learning the car and track too. And there's one of the Formula 1 cars. Oh no. I should sign up for the race session. Because clearly I'm ready for the race. I mean, that's the thing with week 13, is you don't need to be ready for the race. You can just take a car out and, like, have fun. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And I just figured that I'd bring you along, like, while I was learning the track, because I don't think I've ever really shown me attempting to learn a track before. And there's a good reason for that, but it's week 13, so I figure it doesn't matter. I need some water. Oh, is it? Good. Oh, why is my phone shouting? That's very good. It shouldn't be. There's no reason for it to be doing that. But I can't change it without stopping and starting the stream. Like, you can only change the titles in advance. Week 13, save. Is that fixed? I think you can only change it in advance. Maybe you can change it at the time now. So yeah, week 13. We've got prototypes versus Formula 1 cars. It's going to be great. I have not practiced more than about 5 minutes before starting the stream. I made sure I could do a lap. Okay, maybe they've changed that now then. And yes, I've got a different camera position again. I keep changing that. Yeah, I just started driving and I thought, I could stream this, couldn't I? Like, Twitch gave me £70 earlier. Not today, like a couple of weeks ago, but still. £70? So, I should bring out the excuses. Never driven this car before. Never driven this track before. Yeah, that's £70 for like 2 years. So it's a good rate of pay. Yeah, never driven the car before, never driven the track before, haven't driven in like 2 weeks at all. So, yeah, those are the excuses. Is there going to be a pit stop? I haven't felt the need for extra wing actually. Info. Race details. That's not useful. What's the race going to be like? Come on, tell me. 15 minutes, yeah, that's not going to have a fuel stop, is it? Thank you. Yes, listen to the Twitch people. They want you to give me money so they can take some of it. Oh dear. So what did you think of the F1 testing so far? Oh god, that corner is really awkward. There's disappointingly, Mercedes topped the times. I know that you shouldn't read too much into the times in F1 testing sessions, but disappointingly Mercedes topped them today. After having some promising looking mechanical failures yesterday. Damn it. Promising looking mechanical failures, and then also Hamilton just barely keeping the car on the track, which to be fair he did again today. They seem to have been really struggling to find the balance in the car.
Slow car ahead.
This is not a car with auto throttle lip. Yeah, I was really hopeful that they'd really massively cocked up. After Hamilton was all over the place yesterday and Bottas broke his gearbox, but then today they're back. Brake locking sounds. Yes, I saw that. Oh, here's the next excuse coming out. I was looking at chat.
Corner and got a slow down penalty.
Can't forget that excuse. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he had a pretty good run. 97 years old and an icon to millions. You know, you could have it worse. There are worse states to die in than that. To break earlier there. I think you can take full throttle through there actually. Eee. Sideways. McLaren is looking pretty good. Interesting that Lando has bested bested Ricciardo in both sessions, but obviously Lando's used to the car, and also generally the second session has been quicker than the first. Plus we don't know what the team's goals were for Ricciardo's sessions, like whether they were doing aerodynamic testing at specific speeds or if they were
Car right. Clear.
I'm going to need to turn on the virtual mirror. But yeah, we don't know what their testing procedure was like.
Car stops on the right.
But the Alpine's looking pretty quick as well. Yeah, Ricciardo looked good. Virtual mirror, yep. I'm going to get the cable for my iPad so it doesn't run out of charge while I'm driving. So the with the proceeds from London, come here. Come here. There we go. There we go. With the proceeds from London, I bought myself a new monitor. One of those. So I've replaced my three 1080 monitors. Well, actually, it was one 1440p and two 1080p monitors, with a single 1440p super ultra wide. And generally, it's great. The downside of it is that since there's only one screen, I can't have a second screen up with the Twitch chat on it. So yeah, these are the F1 cars. Now I don't know what types the other colours are. I'm going to assume that this is the other type of F1 car in blue, and then this is definitely the spec racers. But yeah, it's prototypes versus Formula 1 cars versus spec racers. Cremonch. I'm hoping that Vettel, like, does better than he's looked so far. Yeah, well, I've finally stepped back from doing the community moderation. But yeah, they're just so goddamn, like, it's a free thing. You can't expect perfect tech support for a free thing. Like, nobody's getting paid here. Nobody has to sit here and listen to your whinging ass. You know, it's nobody's duty to get this thing working for you.
Right side, clear on the right. Left side, clear.
Yeah, that's the yeah, that's putting it mildly. I'm not looking forward to doing tech support for my own sim. I can tell you that now. Which I've noodled around with a little bit more lately, though I've been finding it quite hard to get Splines are difficult, basically. They're really difficult, and I'm tying myself in knots over it. I've come up with quite a nice system, I'm just finding it quite hard to implement. I mean, half the battle is working out what it's supposed to work like. And what the final user experience for it is supposed to be. And so the iRacing reckons that my monitor is 3 monitors. So, I am iRacing number 6, and we have a 3-class race. Looks like a couple of Formula 1 cars, 1970s F1 cars, and a bunch of spec racers, and a bunch of DPs. And nobody gains or loses any iRacing or safety rating. Yep, there you go. That's the top class.
Left side. Clear.
Oh boy, 15 minutes of
You
this.
got a slow car on the left. Go right.
I'll read that in a moment. Oh boy.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Welcome to week 13.
You got a slow car on the right. Go left. Go left. Car right. Go left. Clear on the right. Practice is over. Head on in.
Yeah. What I often do when I hit a snag is I go and work on something else for a bit and then try to come back to it with a fresher mind. Such as Farthington or another part of the sim. And I don't spin on the first turn very much. I have like 4.5, a 4.5 A-class license at the moment. Oh god.
Green flag. Green flag.
Quali lap, here we go.
Okay, here comes your third time lap.
Were you there for the C400 roof removal stream? Because, oh my god, people were demanding. Like, oh, that means that if you're doing this, that means you must do this. You've got to do this. Like, we need this. I love that one. We need blah. Okay, go do it then. You know. Stop using the whole we the people stuff. Like, if we need this, like, we've survived perfectly well without it so far, but apparently we need it now, so obviously you're the man for the job.
One more lap.
Yeah, like, we need a dual door version. Like, we need a version where it's only the front part of the roof, which is... or where the whole roof is cut off instead of just the back part, or Like we need it to be wider. We need a Volvo version. We need a Scania version. Like we don't need any of these things. You're just demanding tossers. It's free. Like you don't need any of it. If it was a commercial product you'd already paid for on the grounds of it having those things, then yes, you'd have a point. But it's free. Oh god. And some of them just say it like they're sort of the yeah, no. I would have liked to do that with the C400, but the files are all over the place. But like they say, we need this, as if like they're the spokesperson for the people, you know. Oh, there's quite a lot of qualifying time left. And oh dear. Oh, I was hoping this would be full of people who are completely incompetent, but it's not. I know, right? But then at the same time, like if somebody makes a version with 3 polygons and no textures, then you'll always get 12 people replying to them in the work in progress thread saying, "Oh my god, it looks amazing! Keep up the great work, mate!" Smiley, smiley, smiley. Like this, and like those MM2 converts where like the mirror arms stuck in through the side of the bodywork, like you could see them sticking in through there, and there were people reviewing it and going, "Oh, this bus is amazing. This would be 10 out of 10 if the mirrors worked." Like, that's a very low bar for 10 out of 10. That's such a low bar. I swear that half the time, like, a lot of people just have no perception of quality in any sense. I enjoyed it a lot when I was little, though I just played it as Midtown Madness for the most part, rather than as a bus simulator. Like, I downloaded a few bus mods. Oh, you're talking to a premier Midtown Madness model maker here. One of the top in the game. Not me, Dave. One of the very best. Come on. What's playing faint like? Kind of sounds. Hello, it's me. Move that over there. It no longer me. Bye bye me. No more me. I'm glad that the stream seems to survive it when I do that. It was so busy, yeah. That was really, really busy. Like, I was not expecting to get that many viewers for that. I mean, I got the whole thing done within 5 hours. So. I'm not sure I was asked that many times, or maybe I just ignored it a lot. I mean, a lot of people have been slating London for the promised January update not coming. I don't think we ever did promise a January update. I might be wrong, but I don't think anyone ever promised a January update. Yeah, Roadhog would like to do a last update for the C400R. What he's trying to do at the moment is collate together all the files into a single model version so that he can actually re-export it with the suspension fixed. As that's one of the biggest long-standing issues, is the dodgy suspension, which is just because the vehicle was exported with the model the vehicle was exported too high up on its suspension, which means that in order for it to sit at the right height, it needs to be in order for it to sit at the right height, the suspension has to be much too soft. Oh yeah, 62 laps of fuel.
Good luck, everybody. Have fun.
Oh, hello, Mr. Robot. Good luck, everybody. Have fun. Fun is mandatory. It's not too bad a model, this car, considering how old it is. Like, obviously it's a bit rough around the edges compared to the newer ones.
Let's have a first clean corner. Nah.
I thought that's where we win the race.
Well, let's have a first
Yeah,
clean
that's-
corner.
that's what-
Nah. Oh, it's a standing start as well.
Green, green, green.
That went about as well as could be expected.
Almost for that first corner, huh? He just popped it.
Car right. Still there. Still there.
Hi.
Clear. Slow car ahead. Go right. Right side. Still there. Still there. Hold your
The
line.
F1 cars have checked out.
Go right. You're in the top 10.
Oh yeah. By the Hamilton line.
Go right.
Whee! That just went. West Country 3 is surprisingly good. One of the reasons I think it's going to remain a hit is because the performance is surprisingly good. Like, there's the occasional person reporting jumping buses, but they probably get those everywhere that isn't Grundorf. I'm also quite happy to have open sourced my little utility tools now. Because now people can finally stop saying, oh, he only releases stuff to people who are close to him. Nobody else ever gets it. Because people have genuinely said that about me, and I don't really understand why. It's like with the...
Car stops on the right.
with the spline maker, no, I didn't only release it to people who were close to me. Like, one person got it, which was BKG, who's not particularly close to me, and that was just because he happened to be streaming, and I thought, oh, I'll send him a copy and see what he thinks of it.
You got a slow car on the right. You got a slow car on the left.
You got a slow car in front of you, you got a slow car behind you. Got a slow car on your roof. Here comes one of the F1 cars.
Go right.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
You're in the top 10.
Anyway, it's all open source now.
The leader's fitting now. Right side. Clear on the right. Car on your left. Clear on the left.
You got a car in the tyre wall. God, this thing's sensitive on the throttle. You can probably see me sort of nursing it over that hill.
Blue car ahead. The leader's fitting now. The leader's fitting now.
That was one of the spec races. Oh, bye.
Car right.
Oh, the beautiful pass. Beautiful. Clean. On track only. Textbook.
You got it. Slow car on the right.
Oh boy. This thing's surprisingly catchable on the brakes. Oh god. It just keeps going. Hi, Spec Racer. Oh god. Oh god, the difference in closing speed is insane.
On the left.
I didn't actually touch him, I didn't even get a 0x. My steering wheel just tried to dismount itself from the desk. Yeah, there we go. Jesus, this is not a safe combination. You can run to the back of them at 100 miles an hour while you're both going in the same direction.
Car stopped ahead. Car stopped on the
No.
left. Go right.
Oh no. Bloody hell. This car. I like it. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't want to race it for much longer than this. Let's try being a bit smoother with it. Let's see how it responds to that. Because I've been being very aggressive with it. Let's just try tickling it round. Okay. Maybe it likes smooth.
Car stopped on the right. Blue car ahead. Car on your left. Clear on the left.
I know there's a lot more speed in that corner. Yep. That person had... I probably shouldn't say. One thing I will say is that when people are being particularly difficult or aggressive in support threads, we just ban them from the support thread. I don't know how much I can actually say about individual users because it's probably personal data. Because obviously I still have access to all the personal data even though I'm not actually the leader anymore.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Oh boy. I'm glad I was never part of the MM2 community. There you go. Smoothness is driving down my lap times.
Car right. Clear.
And he spun. Oh, good. Yeah, we've been very careful with the people that we choose. And that's not to say that we haven't had incidents with our own mod team, but we've generally tried to deal with them when they've happened and work out how to make them not happen again. Like, generally we have the best interests of the community at heart and we try not to be biased. It's obviously impossible to just be completely unbiased. And of course we all have our own lives, so we're not just going to devote all day, every day, all of our thought power to working out how to deal with these people. But one thing that we have to get across occasionally is we are not a democracy.
You got a slow car on the right.
Because in particular, when the forums were very new, we had a lot of people going, "Oh, you're removing my post. There should be freedom of speech here." Like, okay, dude, right? So, do you see those rules over here there that you signed up to when you joined the website? Those are our rules. You know, freedom of speech means that you can't be locked up for saying something that is your opinion. Freedom of speech does not mean that you get to be an arsehole to people on our particular corner of the internet and we're not allowed to remove you. like, it's best to think about it like you're coming into somebody's house. If you come into somebody's house with muddy shoes on and trample all over the carpet and then insult their grandmother, they're probably going to remove you from their house. You know, it's no different. Like, a forum is not a platform for freedom of speech. It's owned wholly by, like, in those days it was owned wholly by one person. You know, it's theirs. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. They can be as biased or whatever as they like. It's completely up to them. I was about to say I've been keeping it surprisingly clean considering it's week 13, but there you go. Yep. I mean, exactly, you know? People just don't seem to get that freedom of speech does not mean that on a completely privately owned forum we're not allowed to get rid of you for being an arsehole. They said, like, there was a whole thing about Fellasville being corrupt. We're corrupt. Like, how are we corrupt? We're not government officials. Like, we're not about to take the funds that should have been put into your bin collection and instead spend it on a holiday in Mallorca. You know, we're not spending your school lunch money on, like, funding the weapons industry. Yeah, people just don't seem to get it. Right, here we go.
Alright, there's the checkered flag.
Hi!
Nice run. Solid work.
Oh yeah, nice run. Solid
You're
work.
going the wrong way.
Oh well. Finish P7. That'll do. Oh, did you see the end of the 12 hours of Bathurst? Let's see. Ooh. What happened here? Ah, yeah. That was a thing that happened. That was a thing that happened during the 12 hours. I'm sure I took a... There we go. So at the end of Bathurst, there is a thing called the jump. It's very traditional at the end of the Bathurst 12 hours to come over here, yeet it over this mound in the gravel and up over the tyre wall. It's a beautiful tradition. And I got some really good air. Oh, this was a fun one. This was a 4x. I got 4x for this. Bing, bong. Like, look at that. Look at that. Complete netcode. Ping, bong. But yeah, the Bathurst jump is it's a tradition. You have to do it. Oh well, there's an 11:30 race at Tsukuba, or there's another 11:30 race here, or I could go to bed. Those are my three options, really. I could do the obligatory UBS. It is obligatory. Yeah, a few little challenges recently. But I've got a proper issue tracker now. Got project management. You see? Look at this, look at all this project management right here. It's amazing, right? What do you think of that then? Stunned. That sucks. Oh, I had the AstraZeneca vaccine the other day, and one thing that I will say is plan a few days afterwards and stock up on paracetamol. Like, clear your schedule for a couple of days afterwards and stock up on paracetamol. Let's have a look. I mean, for the time, that's not bad. Yeah, but one thing I've discovered is the foggy weather preset, which comes with. Also, I need to do something about these God rays. They're a bit like they just stop here, which is great. Yeah, I've spent some time tweaking the colours and the lighting recently, as well as working on spline stuff. So spline stuff is still the thing that I'm really working on. So this is the spline system in general. So it's based on fixed radius segments, and the thing that I've been working on is manual entry of the segment radii. And you can see it can also conform to the terrain to an extent. Well, you're basically looking at it. So these things, they're defined very much like the ones in OMSI. So they've got a set of points here, and they extrude those points along the profile of the curve. There's no materials on them or anything yet. That's another thing that I need to sort out soon. And I worked out a nice way for them to do height stuff. So let me just show you. There you go. Like that. See? At the moment they pick gradients from at the moment the gradient at every node is 0, but that will that'll change. So what I could either do is I could pick the gradient from the surface that you put it on, or I could guess based on the first gradient and where you put the second node. So I can just go, okay, if you put this node here and that one there, then like that is probably a good guess for what you wanted, or this. So, you know, There's a few options. But it's not properly integrated into the editor yet. So the thing that I've been working on is just getting the functionality set up for the this one, for the ability to enter spline coordinates manually. So like if I want to have a 50 meter radius spline, like this will all go into a proper UI at some point, but yeah. So I'm just, basically the thing that I'm setting up is the OMSI-like system. So you can just enter a radius and an angle and whatever, and there are some bugs. As you can see, this one just vanished. Oh no, the radius is just so small that you can't see it. Fair enough. Let me expand that a little bit. There you go. What do you mean by autopath? But yeah, I also need a visual gizmo tool that lets you adjust a curve once you've placed it. And another one which lets you select multiple, and then when you adjust the first one, the ones that are attached to it go with it. There's an argument for slightly changing the way that I've defined the curves at the moment. Well, it also has the same problem as OMSI with discontinuous normals at the ends of the segments, so you can see that this bit's sort of pointing that way a bit, and this bit, the lighting is reacting slightly badly at the seam. And of course it's not integrated with all the other editor tools yet. Okay, the only thing I was planning to do was have the AI path following the spline, and that was it. One thing that I've come to realise about this highlight system I've got at the moment is it can be quite difficult to see where something's intersecting with the ground, because of the highlight kind of blows it out. So I'm wondering if I should try to do something about that. Like maybe where it's obscured. Well, I don't know how to do it, because what I could do is, like... Yeah, I don't know. If I could make it so where it's obscured, it lights up. That would be pretty neat. I don't really know how I would achieve that at the moment. I'm not particularly good with writing shaders. This is the only shader that I've written for the game. All the other shaders are things that other people have written. Maybe. Yeah, what I could do is I could have a... like you can see this is the centre, but then I could also have like a blob, which is a dot on the surface and a line connecting the two. That might work. So that would just be a line straight down from there to the surface with a dot showing where the surface is. That might help. But yeah, I've done some work with exposure controls and a little bit of post-processing, and I think it's really improved the look of the thing. One thing that is still not working properly, and this is not my fault, the default foggy preset which comes with the weather system I'm using just lets all the light through, so it's completely blown out at a distance, and also has this artifact on the ground. Like it's just nuclear sun. Like it's fine in the rainy versions, because then they dim the lighting as well to go with it. But in the foggy one they just leave the lighting at full brightness and just blow out everything. So the snowy one looks great. Yeah, I know, right? I want to do something about that because it's not great. But if I put it on Storm, then I get thunder and lightning, don't I? Yes, it's a good weather package, this one. It performs much better than any of the other weather packages I've found. So this is currently, right, we've got iRacing running in the background and I'm streaming. This is currently running at 112 frames a second. And this is 1080, this window. This is 1080p. And if I just do a quick build and run, then I can show you that it actually performs even better when it's not in the editor. Now obviously when I build it you won't be able to see all of it because it'll fill the entirety of my monitor, and I'm not showing you the entirety of my monitor. But yeah, it still performs well even then. So far so good. Now there you go. Full screen while streaming. Yeah, I'm very pleased. But yeah, the splines, I'm still at the point of making the splines themselves work, so I haven't integrated them properly into any editor tools yet. I feel like the camera controls are a bit jerky for some reason at the moment. Like in the build they feel a bit jerky, where they don't feel jerky in the editor. I'll have to look into it. But remember that this is basically running at 4K. Well, I need to finish making the sim before that, you know. But yes, it might be interesting trying to reconcile the two groups together. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I need to finish off the basic, like, actual generation of the splines, and then I need to integrate them into the save system, the undo system. I need to make a little GUI set of tools for them. Like, you know, there's a lot to do. Okay, I'm going to do another one of these races. That was fun. Let's have a look. Yep. I mean, that's Z model, right? It's Z mod 1 as well. I wonder if I ever saw that particular bus on one of the download sites. Thank you. It's like I've been having doubts over whether I'll be able to pull it off. Like I've been finding it very hard to make progress recently. I don't really know why. I'm a bit concerned about my own personal rate of progress at the moment. It's going very slowly right now. Yeah, I feel like even if the bus comes out and it gives you the bus sim side that everybody wants, I feel like well, I need to get past this hump of these splines. I want to move on to something else, another substantial chunk, you know? Like, I want to get the vehicles going. I want to get drivable vehicles in. I want to fix up the content tools. It's just that as I go, I'm kind of leaving behind this technical debt because yeah. I don't know, but yeah, even if the bus cuts it from that point of view, I feel like I still have a unique enough product for it to be worth doing anyway, because it has this other side of being like a world builder that you can walk around in or drive in. So There were quite a lot of bugs in their preview streams, but it's but that's obviously a preview. According to V3D, they're very keen on it being like
Fleet car ahead.
a big step forwards in terms of physics. Also, according to him, making buses for it is very hard and a bit of a pain in the butt.
Left side. Clear on the left.
Bully, 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 bully. Did he die? Oh. Basically aim at these trees, can't I? Whee! That's the line. But apparently the people working on it are very keen on getting a... yeah. And the thing with Lotus is that it's just not a big enough step forward for people to want to pay the... to want to pay 30 quid to get something that, on the surface, just is OMSI, like, with less content and shadows. And has a much harder world editor. But I really need to get a wiggle on with mine, because these things are coming quite soon. I mean, it's not as in I need to get mine out before then. Yeah, I'll probably get Lotus sort of for research purposes. I probably will buy both Lotus and the bus to see what they do well. Well, that's the thing, is it's not turd polish, it's a whole new turd. I don't know, I'll probably get it for myself, partly to see what it does well, and partly because, obviously, when you see people doing gameplay of it, like, you've seen the settings people use on OMSI and how shit they can make it look, and how much better it can look if you just have a better PC with better settings. So I want to see how much of the shittiness is people's PCs. And I mean, also, if it can look great, like, how much performance does it cost to make it look great? You know.
Right side. Clear on the right. Car on your left. Clear on the left.
And into the wall. I mean, those aren't the problems with OMSI. There are much bigger problems than that. But yeah, I'm hoping that if I can get a decent starter content base, along with along with more user-friendly content tools. I want to make it easier to import your own models as well. I've already made a model importer, because obviously I need one in order to import models. Oh shit. Yeah, it wasn't happening. What happened there? No. Thought. Really? I didn't realise that there were many new people who came when London released, honestly. Yeah, just fucking break before the corner. Shall we turn the racing line on and have a look? Now, it can be quite a useful learning tool. Just warming up those tyres.
Right side. Keep to the left. Clear on the right.
I don't know if they make the racing line per car or if it's just a racing line, which will probably do, regardless of what car you're in. Oh god, I'm not sure that this is a good line for this car. Whoa, Jesus.
Clear on the right. Car right. Clear on the right.
I mean, to be fair, if you're new to it, it's like a £60 investment to get both of them. It is quite a lot. Look at the size of those tyres. I think that's the Lotus 79. Oh god. Why? Why did you put yourself through that?
Car right. Clear on the right.
I reckon 19s will be a lot more comfortable than the alternative. Probably more fuel efficient as well. Well, not fuel, you know what I mean. Energy efficient. Meanwhile, my Fiesta's still going. Spent a while the other day fixing the bonnet latch. Like, I reckon at some point in that car's history it has had a front end impact with something. Because the top of the radiator is very slightly bent and the bonnet doesn't sit where it should. Oh, come on! I fixed quite a lot on my car. Oh god. What was I meant to do there? I've replaced the brakes more than once actually, because the first set of brakes I got on it just corroded themselves. Like, actually the pads welded themselves onto the discs. And when I set off in it, yeah, what was I meant to do there? When I set off in it, like a chunk of the pads tore off and stayed welded onto the disc. And then there was just this block of pad welded to the disc, and every time it went round, it hit the pad and went ka-dunk, 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 ka-dunk. I took those back off again, took them back to Euro Car Parts, who said that they'd never seen something like that before, and they gave me a replacement set. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, it's missing a little bit of trim underneath the... Yeah, like, it was just solidly... It was completely welded on. Like, it was just the right front brake pad had just a great chunk of it, like maybe 2 inches across by an inch and like half a centimetre thick, had just welded itself to the disc. Like, I think the car had been sitting for a week or 2 weeks or something. Because this was in the middle of a uni term, so I wasn't using it much. So yeah, the car had been sitting for a while, but the car's been sitting for like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks at a time at the moment because of lockdown, and that hasn't happened to the replacement set. And it's just within the space of that like week, 2 weeks, a great big chunk of the pad welded itself to the disc. So yeah. Yes, cars don't like it if you don't use them, but that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, the bonnet latch was all sorts of bent and skew-if. Yeah, but this wasn't a whack with a hammer sort of thing, because like it had actually corroded on and there was just a lump of it. Like, the brake pad was completely unusable. It was because it had a hole in it, There was a big bit torn out of the middle of it. So there was no way that that was going to be drivable. Yeah, I fixed the bits of broken trim on the outside of it, glued on a couple of bits where the factory glue had failed, clipped on a piece where... So on the Fiestas, there's a piece of door trim on the rear doors, which always falls off, and you get third-party replacements for them, and that had obviously happened to mine before, because on one side it had the original Ford OEM part, which had been badly glued back on, and on the other side it had an aftermarket part, which the previous owner clearly didn't understand how to fit, because it like clips over the front edge of the door, and then into a set of holes. Yeah, it clips over the front edge of the door and then into a set of holes in the door pillar itself. And they hadn't hooked it over the front edge, they just sort of tried to force it into the holes without clipping the front edge on first, which meant there was all sorts of pressure being applied in the wrong direction, which had broken all the clips. So I just clipped it on in the right way and then it worked. It hasn't happened since I replaced the camshaft sensor. I just saw somebody online saying that they replaced the camshaft sensor on theirs, and it doesn't seem to have done it since. So I figured, camshaft sensor, that costs £11 on Euro Car Parts. So I bought a new camshaft sensor, and for the sake of undoing one bolt and a couple of quid, it seemed worth a try. It still idles slightly. It misses slightly. It's still not a particularly happy engine. Something is wrong in there. I don't know what it is, but since then it hasn't actually stalled on me. So, fingers crossed. No, I haven't. It'd probably be sensible, wouldn't it? In fact, I should probably, just grab one for the sake of, whenever I end up buying my next car. I should probably... I have this problem with, Oh, look at those beautiful shadows on that bridge. Cool. Nice. But like, what on earth was I about to say? I have this problem with getting attached to items. And like, I got attached to my car, which is a bad thing because it's a piece of garbage and it's taking up space on the driveway and it's not doing anything for anyone. And when my brother heads off for a year in Italy, his much newer, more comfortable car will be free for me to use. So yeah, at that point we'll have 4 cars on the driveway, with none of us needing to go anywhere most of the time, since my dad works from home, my mum works from home, I work from home, and my sister will be at uni and doesn't drive anyway, and my brother won't be here. So, you know, we'll have 4 cars here, all doing nothing. So the thing which makes sense is for me to sell mine while it still has some MOT left and use my brother's for the year. But yeah, when I do eventually come to buy myself a nicer, newer car, it would be sensible to have an OBD2 reader. But you know, I do get attached to things. I shouldn't. It basically means I never get rid of anything. Like, yeah, I'm just looking around my room and there's a lot of things that I just never got rid of. Just because I get attached to them. So hang on, 15 minutes of race. Can I just take most of the fuel out? 75 litres. How much do I really need? 75 litres was like 60 laps. It's 1 minute a lap. It's a 15-minute race. So let's assume like 1.5 litres per lap for safety, I think. Well, I can test it, can't I? Because I can just take... Oh, the ride height's too high now. Maybe I need to put in just enough fuel to get the ride height within spec. There we go. Taking out 25 kilos of fuel. It's better. Still 40 laps in the tank. Yeah. I quite like the look of the new Hyundai which is coming out. Though what I would actually like is one of those tiny little Honda ones. The ones that look like a sort of an old Peugeot rally car type of thing. And have a wool interior, right? I just want one. They look so cute and so neat. I like them. I just wish they had a longer range and that I had the money to buy one. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they've said that it's a city car. You don't, like they said they deliberately made it that range because it's a city car and most city cars don't need that kind of a range.
Okay, here comes your
But
first time
the
lap.
problem is, like, much as the engineers know that it doesn't need that range, the average consumer will look at it and go, Jesus, that's not much range. And then they won't buy it. Yeah, the thing that puts me off Tesla is, I mean, aside from, like, this is all wishful thinking because I don't have anything like the money needed. But the thing that puts me off Tesla is Elon Musk. I don't really want to be associated with him at the moment because he just seems to be going nuts. I admire what he's achieved, but he just seems to become almost an alt-right figurehead, and I don't want to support that. Yeah. Yes. I've noticed an increasing trend of calling the normal car manufacturers legacy manufacturers recently. Ooh, 103.8.
Ticket flag, ticket flag.
Yeah, I just don't like the name. If they'd just called it the Ford Mark E, then that would be that would be nice, because it would, like, Mark E. That's like a nice nod to the past of sort of the Mustang Mark blah 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 blahs, which is that would be nice. But just calling it the Mustang Mark E, it's not a Mustang. Like, a Mustang's a pony car. It's got a big long bonnet and 2 doors. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I just don't like it. I'm sure the car's fine. But yeah, like, I suspect that somebody's just posted a question in the UK OMSI forums Facebook page asking, question, why on earth is the OMSI community so toxic? I want to know too. Actually, I don't want to know. It's just got some toxic people in it. Like, I'm never convinced of the correlation between, like, IQ and actual intelligence. You know, judge a fish on whether it can climb a tree and all that. Oh, it's a 4-class race this time. It looks like the 60s F1 cars are going to muddle in with the prototypes, and then the 70s F1 cars are going to be the fast guys, and then we've got these guys. So can I manage to get some more fuel out of it? Yes, I can, by taking 1 millimeter off the push rods. Less than them. I can take 0.5 millimeter off the rear push rods, and in exchange take another 20 litres of fuel out. I'll take that. I'm hoping Perez does well this season. So just this guy called Jota Perez made me think of that. Like, I'm hoping Perez does well. He deserves to do well after being kicked out of his team. I am so glad he got that seat. Like, I feel sorry for Alex Albon, but he just wasn't performing. But Perez really deserved that seat. I was very surprised, honestly. But, like, they do need more results than what Albon was giving them. Hello.
Good luck now on everyone.
That, yes, I can get on board with every word of that.
The dreaded turn
Oh,
one
we've got
conversation.
we've got Darren back again.
Please don't run me over.
Robo Darren.
Yeah, 79 tyres of dreads on that one, guys.
My Lotus is too old. Need wings. Yep. So standing start again.
Have fun.
Because standing starts are best starts. Oh, fourth gear starts. In fact, a second gear start might not be the dumbest thing in the world, but we're going to do first gear.
Green flag, green flag. You're on the right. Rewind. Clear.
Welcome to week 13.
Can't wreck in turn one if you don't get to turn one.
I agree with that guy. Ooh, this car feels bendy. And there's the entire Lotus 79 field.
I don't know what I could have done different. Drive it from the pit, maybe.
Car on your left. Clear.
Sorry. Oh boy, week 13. The actual name of this series is Week 13 Ridiculousness. Like, that's the official title of the series, is Week 13 Ridiculousness. So yeah, it's 70s Formula 1 cars versus 60s Formula 1 cars versus early 2000s prototypes versus spec racers. I'm in the early 2000s prototype. So, a refresher if you don't know. Week 13, there is no I rating or safety rating, gain or loss. It is the week between official seasons. So you can do whatever you like in week 13 and it really doesn't matter. Which is why we're doing 70s F1 cars versus 2000s prototypes versus 60s F1 cars versus spec racers. Thoughts on testing? I am very disappointed that Mercedes pulled out the fastest lap at the end of this testing session. I know you can't read too much into lap times, but I was hoping beyond all hope, that they had some kind of actual serious issue which was stopping them from testing at all. But no, they go out there and they do the fastest lap, of course. The bastards. But McLaren and Alpine are both looking very strong. I'm glad that McLaren seems to have survived the engine swap with no serious detrimental effects. Hamilton seems to be having a lot of trouble controlling the car. Like he specifically mentioned that with the regulation changes, the rear end was a lot less stable. Oh, F for the guys behind.
You're in second position right now.
Oh, second pole.
Slow car ahead.
I don't know. I just hope that Vettel gets some decent drive time in, because I want to see how he's actually doing in the new car. I'm really hoping that in a new car he's able to get some of his mojo back. It doesn't seem to have happened yet though. But he hasn't been locking up and spinning everywhere, so you know. Here's the spec racers doing 2 miles an hour.
Clear on the right. side. Clear.
I mean, the problem for me with the supercars is they just make too many of them. Like, what's a McLaren 643 LFTZX? Like, you know, they release a new one every 2 weeks. Doesn't that sort of ruin the point of the whole, like, exclusivity thing? Like, Ferrari still sells the 488. Like, it should just be a case of, I want a McLaren. Do I get the open top one, or the super hard one, or the comfy one? That should be the question. There shouldn't be 29.5 different variants, all with their own names. Oh, hello.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left. Left side. Clear on the left. Right side. Clear on the right.
Yeah.
You got a slow car on the left.
Yeah, just... McLaren still just feel a bit boring. And I don't really know why, but I think it's partly just because they have such unimaginative names. And they're all just... And there's so many of them. Like the MP412C was... Like, that seemed like something special and new and interesting and exciting. But then they started releasing them every week. And now it's just, oh, it's another McLaren. Yeah, it should just be... Yeah. I mean, the name of the MP4 was a bit... I know it's because that's how they name their F1 cars, but... Still a rubbish name for a road car. Figure I'll just murder another Lotus.
Car ahead.
Of course he has... Oh god, he's fast in a straight line. Bloody hell. I mean, obviously he's got no downforce. And there's his no downforce. Yeah, Alpine is looking really strong with the number of laps they put in. I am also really glad the new Honda engine is working out for Red Bull. They don't seem to have had any significant issues with it aside from the engine cover falling off. which was a bit ridiculous. It just blew up. Like, a little bit of wind got underneath it from the back of the Williams, and the cover just decided, right, I'm gonna head out.
Right side. Clear on the right.
Yeah. Well, so far they seem to have it, because they've got a new engine. They've got a free, new engine, updated engine. And it seems to be reliable. So if it's at least on par with their previous engine in terms of performance, then, you know, I think they're in luck.
Blue flag, guys.
Flight car ahead.
Oh,
Come on your right. What the fuck, you shit?
yeah. I think they just realised, like, if you look at the Formula E YouTube channel, then there's so few people who watch their videos. Like, it's supposed to be sort of the social media championship, but so few people watch. I honestly think that fan boost is part of the problem. I mean, another slightly shitty thing they've done recently is they have added a financial penalty to pulling out of Formula E. So if you leave Formula E before the end of the regulations that you joined in,
Car right.
or that you signed up to do, then they will charge you a fine. It sounds like a great way to encourage new manufacturers to get involved, because you'll be locked in. Yeah, my theory is kind of that internal combustion cars will become like horses. So your everyday horse was replaced
You got a flight
with
car on the left.
internal combustion, and then rich people keep a horse around to have fun with on the weekends. I feel like the same thing might be going to happen to internal combustion cars.
Sorry, mate.
They'll become a leisure item. Yeah, I'm hoping that preserved railways don't get hit too much by the loss of internal combustion on the road, because the thing that's inevitably going to happen is that the fuel price will skyrocket. The price of diesel, like for the few people who still need to buy diesel, like people running a preserved railway with diesel engines on it,
Clear.
the price of diesel is going to go through the roof. But at the same time, coal-fired engines are still running, and it's not as if everyone still uses coal nowadays, so clearly, like, it's possible to survive like that. The bigger crisis approaching preserved... oh, bye. The bigger crisis approaching preserved railways is just the number of people with the technical skill to keep them going. or both the technical know-how and the desire. Though at the same time, new manufacturing techniques, CNC machining, laser scanning, whatnot, brings a whole host of new tools to be able to keep them going. Like we can probably remanufacture a new cylinder for something much more easily now than we ever could before.
Slow car ahead. Right side. Clear on the right.
Mate. Cheers, it's always a bunch of yeah, that idiot just drove into me, but never mind, mate. Yeah, it's good, mate. Enjoy it with you.
Right, here we go again.
Pick a flag. Great job. You did really well.
Oh, I didn't manage to clear the fence that time
Going
either.
the wrong way.
Am I? Am I? It's fun being allowed to end a race like that. So what the fuck happened on that one? Oh, I left a big set of 11s. Oh, that won't work. Hang on, I've just realised. The thing is, the 60s F1 cars actually start faster. Like, they start faster than the prototypes do. Oh, I had that front end for the entire race. Oh, good. I like week 13. You don't have to take it seriously at all. Oh, I had this running in the background all the time. Okay. Yep, I just shoved my way through. Okay, that is enough. That is quite enough of that. Because it's midnight. So, yeah. One thing I was thinking of doing is... let me just do a quick test of this to see what I would need to do to set this up, alright? I just want to see if this works in window capture mode, or rather screen capture mode, or if I need to do game capture mode for it. And I was considering starting to stream this as well, because I feel like I'm okay at it now, okay enough at it that it might be enjoyable to watch at least. But I need to see a preview of my stream. Let's see. Ooh, okay, maybe I can just screen capture it. No, I've still got my steering wheel up. So how much effect does it have on performance? Okay, let's do one dumb low tier game. And let's just see. Yeah. Let's see if the performance is acceptable. Take off all of that. Let's just see. So it looks like it's working. We'll just see what kind of frame rate I get. Okay, in the 70s. 75, 74, it's normally a bit intensive at the start while everyone's spawning. Beep beep. Yeah, I mean I like War Thunder. It's quite a hard game to get into though. But the British tech tree just got a whole lot of new South African vehicles like these ones, which are a lot of fun. Like, they're tiny and they're extremely fast. And they have great guns. And they can scout. They've got a lot going for them. So who we got? Oh, we've got all the speedy boys on our side. We've got Britain, Germany and Italy, which are all the teams that have fast tanks at this tier. Fun. There may be fun to be had. War Thunder is generally fun up to about, like, maybe 5.7 in the battle ranks, which is good because above about 5.7 it takes 3 years to unlock anything. So the capture point's up on my right. But yeah, the new tanks that... oh my god. The new tanks that Britain just got are fun. I hear somebody on my left. There. Scout. Okay, I'm going to hide round this corner. Track. The thing I like about War Thunder is the physically based damage model. So you're not just shooting at a thing with a health stat. You have armour to go through and different types of ammunition which go through different amounts of armour. Fuck. Scout. Run. Run. Ah. I should just take a regular tank, shouldn't I? It's not that regular a regular tank, honestly. And you get planes. Planes are fun. Let's go and do a little flanking. Or we could just be dumb and push up the middle. But I much prefer it to World of Tanks, which I've also tried, because of the physically based damage model. I've only got the 75mm 6-pounder, not the 57mm 6-pounder, and this tank doesn't have a reverse gear. Not a great game to demonstrate. Well, whatever. Okay, so on the plus side, it seems to actually perform pretty well. Ooh, I could take my Spitfire Mark 9. I like my Spitfire Mark 9. I do like a good Spitfire Mark 9. Fuck it. One more. One more. That was a terrible game. Like, that was really rubbish. Ooh, I know where I'm going. Yeah, just, like, my advice is don't, like, you can very easily sink a lot of hours. I'm taking the one with scouting, actually. You can very easily sink a lot of hours into it, and just play it if it's enjoyable and don't if it's not. So there's 2 gameplay modes. In fact, there's 6 gameplay. No, there's 9 gameplay modes actually. There's arcade battles where all the vehicles get boosted horsepower, and you get a little green indicator which tells you where you can go through the armour on things. There's realistic mode, where you don't get hit markers and every vehicle has its real ammunition and armour and horsepower, which is the thing that I prefer to play, which is what this is. And then within those there's air battles, ground battles and naval battles. The naval battles are a bit weird. I recently worked out how to actually play naval battles properly though. Like the default controls are a bit rubbish for it, so and the tutorial's a bit shit as well. But I recently figured out how to actually, well, aim, basically. Let's see. Okay, I've got one over there, Puma, scouted. Oh shit. And that's a panther. Oh, I do not want to tangle with that. One of the things I like about it is you have to get to know and understand your own vehicle and all the enemy vehicles. Because you have to know where you can shoot and what you can do to different... bollocks. What you can do to different vehicles. Shit, he's seen me. He has seen me. Oh god. I am playing like a piece of garbage today. Let's take a tank that's actually supposed to be at this tier, because that was an up-tiered tank that I just took because I thought it'd be fun to scout stuff. Here we go. This one has the 17-pounder. The 17-pounder was the best British anti-tank gun of the Second World War. And basically the entire British tank doctrine toward the end of the war, when the German big cats started showing up, was fit the 17-pounder on anything. I don't care how you make it fit, just make it fit. Put it in sideways if you have to, which is literally what they did in the Sherman Firefly. Like the cannon breech was too big to fit inside the turret, so they turned it 90 degrees sideways and just mounted it in sort of the wrong way up. Oh, that's an enemy. This is possibly not a great game to stream because you have to be very alert most of the time. Hi. Yeet. Get 17-pounded. Right. What else is there around here? There's a ping over there, medium tank. That will probably be the Panther I was talking about. Not any Sherman. There were the Sherman Jumbos. Oh, speaking of which, that's a Jumbo. Oh fuck, I've fucked up here. There is one weak spot on the front of a Sherman Jumbo and I missed it. I was rushing it because I knew that I had to get in there quickly. And time for a Firefly. Yes. You know what, I might stream some of this properly at some point. Like, yeah, Firefly. They took the 17-pounder, turned it sideways, and squeezed it into a Sherman turret. And then the radio wouldn't fit, so they cut a hole in the back of the turret and put the radio in a box in the back. And the even better thing about it is the engine is just 5 car engines stuck together. Like, you can see the individual cylinder blocks in there. But yeah, the thing I like about the game is just that they model all the armour and all the internal components and everything. It's not, you know, it's... you don't just have a health bar. No, the Luftwaffe's here. I could use my my anti-aircraft gun to try and do something to him, but that would alert all the ground vehicles to my presence. Now, one of the great things about the Sherman, though, is just since it was so tall, like it was ridiculously tall, but because it was so tall, they could fit any engine they wanted into it. My god. I am just playing awfully. I should probably just call it a day and go to bed. But I've proved that I can stream this. So that's good. And I've got some research towards my A4E early. Yeah. I'll show you what the high tier vehicles are like really quickly. No, I can't because that crew is locked. Do I have anything else high tier? Yeah, I have. Oh, I have the German big cats, if you want to see those. Like, this is what the Allies were up against at the end of the war. This is the Tiger II with the early turret and the long 88. And it is beautifully hideous. And the regular Tiger, obviously, and all the Panthers. These were the bigger threat because they could actually make more of these. But yeah, maybe I'll stream some of this since I play it quite a lot. But yeah, anyway, good game. Don't take it too seriously. It's most fun if you've got somebody to play with, especially if you're new to the game. It is much more fun if you have somebody to play with. The early tier tanks you can sort of rocket through quite quickly and unlock them very quickly. It gets really slow once you get to about here. This is where it starts getting slow to unlock. Fortunately, this is also where it starts to get less fun. So honestly, you can just play up to 3 rank and just have a good time. Yeah. There is one recommendation that I will make, 2 recommendations I will make. Which are going to be a bit hard to demonstrate because the options menu is off on the left of my screen. Oh, I unlocked the horizontal drive for that. That's nice. The elevation mechanism too. The 2 recommendations I will make are in settings, and I believe in where is it? It's under common. Give me a moment. Where is it? Is it graphics? Must be under graphics. Oh no, it's under ground vehicle battle settings. There you go. This setting is the most important setting in the entire game. Turn grass in tank sight off. Because if you have grass in tank sight turned on, then you will not be able to see the enemy tanks. Like if you're looking over the top of a hill or something, because there will be grass in the way. So this just means that when you're in scoped in view, it turns off the grass, which means you can see things, which makes it much, much easier to shoot stuff. And the other recommendation is in, I think it's under common. There is an option for, let me just unbind this option, I never use it. There's an option for, it's called mouse look activation under view controls in common. Just bind that to the middle mouse button because I'll just demonstrate really quickly with a test drive. So the thing that does is it lets you move your mouse around without moving your turret. So like if I think somebody's going to pop up from behind a rock over here, say, I can hold the middle mouse button and still look around and keep track of my environment without having to turn the whole turret and lose my target. Yeah, those are the 2 most important settings. Also, when you get started, Russia and Germany are easy mode. Britain is a hard country to start in until you've got used to the game and how it plays. Anyway, I'm going to go. That is definitely enough. But those are the 2 settings which make it much, much easier to get started. And they should be default, honestly. Anyway, right. I said I'm going to go, and now I'm going to go. See you around.